Today we're talking about this place and the accent you can get from it, or the accent that people who have been there have got.
It gets into your blood.
And we are talking about this lovely lady as well. Yes, it's Nigella Lawson, the TV cook and food writer, and we're going to be finding out about her accent because she speaks in an utterly delightful accent, and you'll find out what it is and how to get it.
What an utterly delightful human being.
Now, in this sentence, a bit of a warm-up, what do you think she says, or how do you think she says the word at the end of this sentence?
Well, when I was...
There are really two ways to pronounce this. One is Oxford, and the second is Oxford. So which one do you think Nigella says, and which one do you think is the best fit? You'll have to watch the video to find out. First, let's look at some background to the video. Oxford University was founded in 1096 and it lies 56 miles northwest of London. That's about 90 kilometres.
And there's something about it that even makes me laugh.
Now, there are some very famous former students of Oxford University. Let's go through some of them. We have Hugh Grant, the actor. We have Rowan Atkinson, the actor, aka Mr. Bean.
It's just the utter seriousness of the context.
We have Richard Dawkins, the biologist.
I've written about 12 books, most of them about evolution one way or another.
We have Emma Watson, Hermione from Harry Potter. Oh yes.
It's a bit like, oh Harry, come on Harry, let's go.
We have J.R.R. Tolkien, the writer of The Lord of the Rings, of course, and many prime ministers, including Boris Johnson and David Cameron.
And that is something we should all be grateful for.
For many people, this is an astonishing moment of hope.
So I'm going to play the full recording of Nigella now, so sit back and enjoy it. It's about her speaking Italian at Oxford University.
Well, when I was at Oxford and we had to translate some Bertrand Russell into Italian, I remember poor Dr. Woodhouse saying to me, you know, Nigella, grammatically that's right, but I'm sure Bertrand Russell wouldn't have sounded like a Florentine greengrocer. Unfortunately, now I think my accent is quite English, but I was in Italy last week because the book's been translated in Italian and rather frighteningly had to do a lot of interviews in Italian, so I don't know. But it's halting. I feel it slightly irritates me now because it's a bit rusty, so I feel I talk like a 7-year-old, which is annoying.
Now, firstly, did you actually guess how she says the word Oxford? She says it pretty similar to the way I say it. So let's break it down. It's Oxford, fud, not Ford. You don't say an R sound like that, like you're in the countryside. No, no, no. For the proper Oxford pronunciation, it's Oxford.
Well, when I was at Oxford...
So master that first, then move on to the way she says the word Woodhouse. It's quite an interesting, sort of slightly posh version.
To Woodhouse. To Woodhouse.
Woodhouse. Very tight jaw, I think, on that. Woodhouse. Woodhouse. And that's how Nigella says it. Here's the phonemic script to help you as well. So let's move on to another vowel. The way she says greengrocer. Greengrocer. And no. No. Let's take a listen.
Florentine greengrocer. So I don't know.
I mean, interestingly, she also says this sound in a very similar way to the way David Cameron says it. Let's take a listen to both of them. Let's listen to Nigella first, then David. Here we go.
Greengrocer.
To go.
Now, there is one word which is quite difficult to make out actually what she's saying. I'll play it to you. Here we go.
It's halting. It's halting.
So I'm pretty sure she says the word halting there. Halting. That's quite a good word to practice as well. Halting. Halting. Now, what is interesting about everyone on my list is that they have a similar accent. In other words, there's some magic force binding them all together that make them sound quite similar, although they are all from different periods of history. It's as if Hermione herself has cast a spell onto these folk. That's because the backbone of their accent is RP, or received pronunciation. I like to call it SSBE nowadays, or Standard Southern British English, and I think Nigella's accent perfectly fits that description. But also remember that RP is also known as Oxford English. It's a bit complicated. There's lots of labels that we put on things, and we love that in accents. So let's just establish received pronunciation is also known as Oxford English, which nowadays we like to call Standard Southern British English. Now, an example of the old Oxford English is a bit like this. You know, the tutors at Oxford University throughout the years would probably have spoken a bit like this, you know, very deep-throaty, very old-fashioned in a way. But of course, we don't talk like this anymore. Well, most of us, let's say Boris Johnson, might do. Now, if you want to see how the Eton accent sounds like, with a bit of vocabulary as well, then I've done a video on that, including analysing both Boris Johnson and David Cameron's accents. Click on the link below in the description and you'll find that video. I don't know if you can see it, but here is a picture of London and all the boroughs. Now, she comes from... I'll just take the mic a minute because I need to say a few things standing up. So, this is a map of London, of the 32 boroughs of London, and she comes from Wandsworth, which I'll just point out on the map here. It is just there, just south of the river. But it is a very, very nice, well-to-do borough in London, okay? So clearly, she hasn't got the typical South London accent. She doesn't speak a bit like this. All right, so we're going together. Yeah, we're going down the road and we're going to, it's a bit Cockney and a bit MLE, you know, so you can go into some MLE and all that. She hasn't got any trace of a London accent, even though she is from London. All you can say is that she has a rather delightfully posh south of England accent. That's my summary of her accent. And also, you can't really tell she went to Oxford, although she does have this highly educated way of speaking as well. So all of this is a good... You don't actually have to go to Oxford University to speak Oxford English or to get an Oxford University accent. This isn't the point of the video. I'm not saying go to Oxford University and get your accent there. No, the point is you can think about how people from these places speak and then choose a way of speaking yourself if you really like that way of speaking. And basically, that's all I have to say for today. And what are your thoughts on Nigella's accent? I'd love to hear from you. Please comment below. And remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos on accents. And remember to subscribe to my channel. And very, very, very importantly, is keep calm and get a better British accent. That's all for me today. I'm John. I'll see you later. Bye. Halting.